Okay, we're live apparently. Good evening, anyone out there. Good evening to you all. Right, okay, so I came back from football this evening. Oh, take my slippers off for this. Well, Wally. Hello, Joker Jake, welcome, good evening. Yes, I came back from football this morning and thought to myself, you know what, I fancy some F1. So I was about to do a recording session. I thought, no, bugger it, I can't be bothered with the editing, so I'll do a live stream and I'll make it public just in case anybody wants to pop on by and keep me entertained for the next hour and 20 minutes. So yes, a late night stream, a late night saucy stream. Yes, who knows what's going to go on in such late hours? Nothing really, because I've had my dinner. And, you know, it's a school night, so nothing untoward shall be happening this evening. Right, I've lost my mouse cursor. I've lost my mouse cursor, people. Oh, my gamepad is activated. Hang on, I better disconnect that. Technical issues already. Disconnect my gamepad, there we go. I don't know why that happened. Don't know why that happened. That's never happened before. Did I press a button? Did I do something wrong? I don't know. Well, it's the start of every stream, isn't it? Pretty much. Anyway, so here we are. It is the Italian Grand Prix, in my best Italian accent there. Here at Monza, the fastest F1 circuit on the calendar. It's also the quickest and the shortest race time, I think. Or it's not, it's very close. Usually a very short race. So if you look at the qualifying here, it was indeed a tight Q3. Now if you remember the build of our car, our straight line speed isn't our forte. It's better than it was. It was about 17th, 18th, 18th, 19th last season and start of this season, but we've developed it a little bit. I think we're about 9th and 10th now. And this is the fastest circuit on the calendar, so straight line speed clearly helps. So I expected it to be closer than it usually is, and it was. So we did still lock out the front row, but look at that. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton couldn't be separated. An exact same identical time. Now this happened in Jerez, Spain, I believe it was, in 1996 or 7? Might have been 97. And I think it was Michael Schumacher, Heinz-Harald Frentzen and somebody else. 3 cars, 3, not 2 but 3, all got the same time within 1,000th of a second, all of them. Google it, I'm telling you. And I've got a good memory for F1 things, you see. And yeah, and basically when that happens, in the very rare occasion that it happens, they split the difference by the first driver that got the time. So Lewis Hamilton got the time first, Lando got the time second, so it's an identical time. We don't go beyond the 1,000ths of a second, so Lewis Hamilton takes the higher grid position. So that's how it works when that happens. Max Verstappen finished a mere 4 1,000ths of a second behind Lando Norris there. That is quicker than the blink of an eye. And then a further 100th of a second back, you have Charles Leclerc there in the Ferrari with a 121.478. So the top 4 separated by mere hundredths and thousandths of seconds, and even Sergio Perez was only a 10th behind, not a country mile at all. So the top 5 cars all very, very close in qualifying. The only unfortunate thing for you Ferrari fans at your home race is that Charles Leclerc has a penalty, probably engine related, but that's going to severely hamper his race, although technically speaking should not be the most difficult circuit to pass on. So anyway, there we go. That's the tale of qualifying.
It's race day and final.
I didn't check the positions below Perez because I couldn't give a damn. Let's check him out very quickly, sorry to you lesser folks. Alonso in 5th, that's because he's been punted up now. Russell now in 6th, Sainz in 7th in the second Ferrari. Oh no, this is bona fide positions. No, that's That's practice. Hey, look, it's like 9:30. Forgive me. Sorry about that. So, where are we? Sainz was in 6th, yes. Russell was in 7th. Alonso is in 8th. Ricciardo 9th. And Ocon in 10th. Alpine and Mercedes, the other two teams. The Alfa Romeo is not doing so well today, it seems. And neither is Sebastian Vettel, who usually does quite well. Has done in the past couple of races. Their car not suited to the quicker circuits, it seems, and more to the twisty ones. Right, the strategy is a slight twist on the norm. Now, normally it's a medium onto hard strategy. Ooh, that's that kind of dicey, risky strategy. No, it's a slightly different now. It's medium onto soft. It's a slight twist. The medium onto hard is being badged as being 6 seconds quicker. Fine. I stand corrected, folks. We're going on to the medium onto hard strategy. Do we fancy switching it up, says Brian in his wheelchair. Medium onto soft strategy today. Bit of difference. And the tried and tested strategist. Shoot it, don't be ridiculous, Brian. What the hell do you think this is here? I think we'll stick with the medium onto hard strategy, if you don't mind. In fact, yeah. Just thought we'd do something a bit different. I don't think we should. I don't think we should at all. Okay, and I saved a set of medium. I saved a set of softs as well. Never mind. Right, okay, apparently, why am I doing this? Pressing the wrong buttons. So the medium onto hard strategy is going to be employed once again because apparently it's quicker, which makes sense. Now I wonder how many of the AI are going to adopt this strategy or stick with the strategy A. The pit crew momentarily excited. Yeah. Oh, difference there. No, I don't think so. But just for a brief moment, we thought, well, you thought wrong, didn't you? Okay, we're going to get them pushing off the line. And we are going to get cracking. The AI was an absolute shambles in the last race. Yes, the AI was absolute... That's the best way to describe it without swearing. Absolute, utter shambles. I forgot about that.
We have beautiful
Let's not knock each other off today. Just say. Right, I'm minimising my preview screen now. Because I'm playing in 1440p, which means there's a bit more of a delay than usual. Bear that in mind when we're talking. Probably about 10 seconds.
After an impressive qualifying performance.
Shut up!
Here we are at the oldest circuit in Europe.
Hello, Pete. The oldest circuit in Europe is about to get underway.
And away we go.
We're going as we ride on board with the front two. We're going to stay off board today. New change. Max Verstappen looks like he's just about trying to get round the outside of Lando Norris into the first right-hander of the Retrofilio chicane, I think it's called. And there we go. But the two McLarens maintain order. Hamilton first, Norris second. We've got Perez up into 4th position. He's going side by side. 3 abreast here. 3 abreast as we go round that Curva Grande there. Absolute wheel-to-wheel action. As we go into that chicane, coming round now into the Lesmo section. Perez looking like temporarily he was going to get 4th position, but... looks like Carlos Sainz has managed to fend him off. Russell is in 6th. Alonso has moved up a position. Oh, I think this could well be to do with Leclerc's penalty, actually, that why some of these guys are higher than they qualified by 1 position. But yeah, Hamilton still maintains 1st position, 2 tenths behind. We've got Lando Norris in the 2nd McLaren, and already a 2nd gap now back to Max Verstappen in the lead Red Bull. We're going to turn down the juice. Turn down the juice for now. I'm going to keep the pushing on the tyres, though. Just simply because we have plenty of tyre play on the strategy. As you can see, plenty of wear available to us. We can afford to push the tyres for a little bit longer here in this particular race. As we can see here, Lando Norris, without the aid of DRS, is trying to pull off a move.
Be careful with this tyre.
He's going around the outside. You can't make it work there, can you? Surely not. It looks like he may well have done. This is un-DRS assisted. Is that an official term? I don't know. But it's a non-DRS assisted manoeuvre. Slipstream. A little bit of a better drive off that final corner. Let's drive on board here. We're going down now, second chicane here, inside line. Fernando into the first corner too. Into that chicane is a dicey situation, but they have made it work. You're going too close for my liking, considering what happened in the last race. But hey, team orders, not a thing here. We're way ahead in the constructor, so we don't have to be so restrictive to these guys who are battling for the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen hasn't lost too much more time since we turned down the ERS in the Lifton Coast, but we're maintaining a healthy lead. Let's see what's going on with the tyre strategy. Sainz and Perez have got onto the medium tyres, as has Leclerc, interesting, Albon, and some of the back markers as well. Verstappen on the soft tyres, probably going soft medium, and these cars here doing it as well. Interesting to see what happens, but we've got a 6-second quicker strategy on paper apparently, so we're quite comfortable.
DRS has been enabled.
DRS activated, not for this particular straight, but now going on. So no DRS for Norris down that straight, but in the next DRS zone he will get it. And I can't recall if that is the only DRS zone on this track, actually. It might well be. It might well be, folks. Anyway, did anybody watch the Hungarian Grand Prix? It was a dull affair, I found. Wasn't that exciting. Not because I am a Lewis Hamilton fan, but I just think the race wasn't that great, to be honest. I mean, to be fair, it's not a track that's conducive to overtaking anyway. But and it was only one stop. Was it a two-stop race or a one-stop race? I don't remember. Was it 2 stops? I think it was 2, wasn't it? It was 2. Yeah, it was 2. It was 2. Anyway, forget it. We've got DRS apparently down that straight, and Lando Norris has cruised past Lewis Hamilton there. I think this is going to be one of those races where it's just going to be DRS swapping over several times over, and I think the same was going to be said for the cars behind, because there's 2 DRS zones on this circuit. It's going to be a lot of DRS trains going on, I think. It's going to be difficult for people to break the toe, because you've got a slipstream effect down the non-DRS straights, and then you've got the DRS down the DRS straights, so it's not really going to be easy for cars to break that DRS zone, I think, is my kind of interpretation of this, as Carlos Sainz is looking to make a move on Max Verstappen there into the first chicane, and he looks like he's made it stick just about, but Max Verstappen takes the inside for this next corner, which often proves to be a decisive manoeuvre in this position, and on this occasion it looks to be the same as well there. So Max Verstappen temporarily losing third, but it was just that, a temporary thing, and the gap to us is now 1.7, 1.6-ish seconds. We're not streaking off into the distance, but we're managing that gap. We're managing that gap. Now, we are not developing our car for the rest of the season, because we are focusing on next season's car, for which we will not be managing the team at that point, but you know, game saves and all that, I might upload it. If you want to play around, you can do. I might do have a little bit of a dabble off camera just to see where our car is at the start of next season, just out of interest. Carlos Sainz seems to have made a move on Max Verstappen again, and again Max Verstappen is fighting back. He gets the better drive off the corners with his softer compound tyres, and that seems to be quite a decisive thing in this battle as we go round the Parabolica here, the final corner of the lap, and Max Verstappen pulls away, but at the detection point he may well have been ahead, which means that Carlos Sainz now gets DRS down this straight, but then he has also Perez with DRS in behind him. This is going to be quite a close situation here. We'll go off board for this one. I think Carlos Sainz is about to lose a position to another Red Bull if he's not careful. 1 minute he was looking at overtaking Max, the next minute he's looking at losing a position to Perez. It's looking like he's lost it. Perez tucking around the inside there, getting his nose in front, and indeed Carlos Sainz, for the time being, has been relegated down to 5th position. That will not please the Ferrari fans at all here in Monza, as Leclerc seems to be stuck in P11. Again, it's part of this whole DRS train nightmare that has formed here. It's making it very difficult for cars to overtake when the car in front gets the same advantage. We'll quickly ride on board here up towards the Ascari chicane to see if anything's going to happen, and not a damn thing. So no, nothing happening there. Nothing happening much elsewhere. You'll see that there's not a lot of overtaking going on at all. Perez is the only one that I've seen that's actually made a move stick. Let's have a look. We'll ride on board with this Ferrari here as it powers down the straight. Alfa Romeo, of course, powered by Ferrari too, so same engines and all that. DRS opens on Bottas. DRS is open on Leclerc. No advantage for the car behind. No overtaking. Just like the good old days when DRS wasn't a thing. You had to make your own moves. You had to make sure that you had a lunge up the inside or whatever. None of these aids, these overtaking aids that you have been given. I've just noticed that Norris is in first position. I've missed that. They are actually side by side. Perhaps I purposely missed it because I don't want to wish to see my drivers collide for a second race running. Maybe we shouldn't watch this. It's quite a kind of, cover your eyes type situation. But the gap to Verstappen is up to 2.7 seconds now, so we're beginning to make our medium tyres work quite nicely. Looking at that chart there, we're still quite happy to be pushing our tyres for the time being. We've probably got a similar wear, even though we're pushing, we've got a better wear than the softs, so we're still quite happy there. Verstappen, Perez, very close together. Carlos Sainz has got a racy-looking Russell behind him in the Mercedes. Fastest lap to Hamilton for the time being. We've got a feeling that that's going to change many times during the race. Probably Hamilton and Norris switching between the two, I would imagine. But yeah, I think Leclerc is, well, it makes sense if Perez is being towed by Verstappen, who's got the soft tyres on. Maybe it makes a little bit of sense why Sainz is seeming to struggle to keep pace here. I mean, he's within the second, of course, but he's not on the gearbox like that, is he? He's a bit further back, so that gives me the impression that he's struggling to keep pace. Just a little bit. You know, Leclerc is clearly not struggling to keep pace with Bottas because he's right up his jacksie, but until Bottas is out of that DRS range, it means that Leclerc is not going to make this move stick anytime soon. So it's a highly entertaining race so far. It's worse than Hungary in real life. Sorry, Ollie, but I think maybe even Hungary was better than this. But it's good viewing for our cars because we're first and second. Although it's not good viewing as they continue to race against each other. Hamilton, Norris with the DRS, got the inside line. Both of them just a bit of lift and coast there. You can tell as they're going into that final braking zone. And Norris is now ahead again. Hamilton has lost that position now, but I'm sure he won't be crying into his crash helmet about that one. You know, he'll just be thinking we'll get him again when it's our turn for the DRS. We'll continue this little merry-go-round, praying for a crash. A crash in a safety car. Maybe a safety car, you know, a time where it's like a crossover of your strategy. Like, it's close between whether I come in or not come in, or, you know, do we stay out? Something to spice it up. Maybe. Alright, it's going to be a very short stream as I go into 16 speed. Never done before, unless it's qualifying or practice. Okay, so this is not where Hamilton will make his move. He'll be, or maybe it is. Stand corrected. What do I know? So is that the DRS line? Who's got DRS? Who's getting DRS? No, Hamilton was slightly behind there, but because he was side by side or just slightly behind when he got it, that makes it even easier for him to make the pass before you even get to the chicane. So a well-positioned manoeuvre there from Hamilton to make that move as drama-free as possible. Perez has managed to overtake Verstappen. And because they've been squabbling, that's allowed Sainz to close up a little bit. But nonetheless, it's just a switching of positions because it's that DRS. It's that DRS zone. Charles Leclerc will be very happy right now because Bottas seems to have lost the DRS. He's lost it. So now Charles Leclerc will be able to utilise... Oh, hang on, we've got an incident. You've asked for it, folks. We've got it. What's happened? Yellow flags are out. Who's had a blunder?
Got a yellow flag.
The spin.
It's the replay.
It's Vettel.
Now look at this. It was the AlphaTauri.
The AlphaTauri of Vettel. Oh, is that
Lose it there.
is that a little
That's
tap?
the spin.
Was that a little bit of a love tap there? He's at the back of the field. His car doesn't appear to be damaged. It wasn't a bigger collision. If there was contact, it was the faintest of contacts. The fans were crying out for a safety car. A bit of drama or something. Maybe a red flag. Red flag it. There's a slight shard of carbon fibre on the track. We'll have to red flag this and have another standing start for some drama. Chat demands more carnage. You know what? I demand a bit of carnage. Do you know what? I don't. No. Do you know what? A nice carnage-free race will be fine. The last race, there's enough carnage to go around. Now, will Bottas fight back? Softer tyres. DRS as Leclerc is now in the points. I almost feel like I almost feel like we should next season go to Ferrari and sort their problems out, or Mercedes. You know, those teams that should be higher on the grid. It'd be quite cool if you could do that. It would be quite cool actually. You might be able to if you could resign as team owner of McLaren and go to another team in the same save next season and see how the AI do with McLaren, see if they can keep up the good work or will McLaren regress, and we take control of somebody like Ferrari or Mercedes that are not, kind of third, fourth on the grid team, and have a play around for a season with them. If we were playing it off camera, of course. That'd be quite a nice little challenge. It'd be really interesting to see what the AI did with the McLaren team, with the finances that we've got, with the drivers we got, with the car that we have. We finish preparing the car for next season as best we can, and then we hand over to whoever takes over, the random AI person. Anyway, anybody seen anything to do with F123? I've not watched any videos, I've not seen anything. I've been busy. Went to my brother's on Monday. Today's Tuesday, right? Sunday I played football quite late, so I couldn't stream. But I've got good news for you folks. I got good news. I'll be streaming tomorrow. No football, no plans, nothing in the calendar. I have set my time aside for a nice long session of Plague Tale. We'll be starting at 7 o'clock sharp, finishing at 10:30, maybe even 11. Let's make some good progress on that game. Oh, Shelley, you say, oh really, like you expect there to be some kind of medical emergency, a Y in the day. My friend rings me up and offers me alcohol. All of those things could happen, but I will be still here. I will still be here. I guarantee you, unless there's an emergency, of which I'm not going to say that. I wouldn't even dream of mocking such things, because with my luck, I'd curse myself. Football gets uncancelled. That could happen. That could happen. A player could pull out and they're like one short. Oh, we're one short. Is anybody free to play? And I'd have to play because I'd feel bad. Like, oh, for God's sake, fine. Because if I don't play, then 9 other people have to suffer. Not getting the game, because you won't play with 9, will you? So if they couldn't get a 10th, they'd have to cancel for everybody. And I'm sat there thinking, well, I could play really. Could do. But why disappoint 9 people when I could disappoint 10? 10 viewers. 10 Plague Tale fans. It's a tough decision. Who do I disappoint most? The football people. Why not? Let's disappoint them for a change. I've done my exercise for the week thus far. A day off tomorrow would be quite welcome, to be honest. Right, but anyway, speaking of football, as we watch my cars drive around doing nothing, Verstappen has got back in head of Perez. Fastest lap for Lando Norris now. Sainz is still tucked in behind Russell, Alonso, Ricciardo. The train continues. Choo-choo. Chooky. Yeah, so speaking of football, before holiday, football was a bit up and down for me, and I think I mentioned it, just thinking it's a bit of old age creeping in. Am I slowing down a bit? Should I be considering, taking it a bit more easy, trying to do things to help, the usual kind of exercise, warm up, all that kind of stuff. I went through a bit of a kind of a mental what's the word? Not crisis, but kind of doubting yourself, a bit of self-belief issues. And then when I've come back from my holiday, after resting and enjoying my holiday and recharging the batteries and losing 4 pounds and having a bit of a break. Sometimes having a break is as good as anything else, isn't it? All the games that I've played after holiday must be like the good old days. That spring in my step, not in the remotest bit tired during the match, running around, playing well, scoring goals, defending well. And we haven't lost a game yet. John won and won the rest. I was like, oh, okay, this is actually like it used to be. Oh, happy days. So I'm quite happy at the moment. We haven't played any of the good teams here, but that could be the thing. Nothing like easing yourself in gently. Right, there's a bit of an issue. Somebody was getting overtaken there. It looked like it was Ricciardo in the mix. Oh no, Leclerc has moved up to P9. He may have overtaken Ocon. He has overtaken Ocon. I'm in my head. I want to be one of those players. So I'm saying this now. That's like still playing a really good game at age like 50. And still looking relatively fresh-faced. So like people, once you know me, I'm not quite sure. How old is he? The grey hairs are all dyed black or cut really short so you can't tell. Keep using that oil of Olay, cocoa butter. Keeping the wrinkles away. Rocking up to a game of football, still going boom, 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 boom. Long legs, crashing people down, crunching people in the tackle. Still have a bit of pace about and still scoring a few goals. I'm like, oh, you're pretty good, aren't you? Like, yeah, I'm 50. They're like, what? Yeah. You're 20, I'm 50, and I kicked your ass. I'd love to be in that position, but not at the. I don't want to be 50, but you get what I mean. So when I get to 50, if I get to 50, hopefully, I want to still be in a position to hand it to some young 20-year-olds on the football field. Give it to them. Anyway, Baldur's Gate 3 talk. Yes. Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be playing walking football. No, you're having a laugh. That is the one thing I would never play. Ever. It's full football or it's no football. Walking? I don't think so. There's a time and a place for walking, and it's not on the football field, I find. No, it's in the Dales. With the rest of the old geezers. No, I'd rather play in a Veterans League. A proper Veterans League. Over 40s or maybe, over 35s maybe. Not a Veterans League that's classed as over 30s, because what kind of a veteran is age 30? I was in my flipping prime at 30, not a veteran. Oh dear. Anyway, so Norris and Hamilton continue to switch positions. Verstappen and Perez continue to have a battle as well. The gap to third is now up to 7 seconds, so we've got this comfortable. Let's check on the tyre wear situation. Still happy with that. And do you know what? We're going to now turn it down even. Just to conserve, hopefully reduce the chance of a mistake. Sainz is in 5th. Leclerc, look at this train. I predicted it. I said it's going to happen. With 2 DRS zones on this track, it is not going to be a situation where DRS... Oh! Should that not have been a crash? That should have been a crash. Hello, Nagisa. Hello. Okay, so Baldur's Gate 3 talk. Yes. You have created your character, Shelley. Or you've decided on your character. I haven't. This weekend, which is the last weekend before the big game releases on the 3rd of August. Oh shoot! I need to tell my football people that I can't play on Thursday. I forgot to tell them. I'll tell them after I finish streaming this. A Drow Bard. Custom character, no origin. So like in Divinity, there's custom characters and there's origin characters. Now that is interesting. Because playing as the origin characters is quite nice because you get a bit more of a story and a flavour behind it that obviously it adds to the story. It adds perhaps some interaction with the companions. But with an RPG, and especially an RPG of this nature, you've got to create your own character, haven't you, surely? I mean, I know in Divinity I kind of went with the Red Prince, but that's because the Red Prince jumped out at me as a really good character to play as. And unless one of the origin characters has that same kind of, ooh, I want to play as him or her, I might have to create my own. Might have to do. So, Baldur's Gate 3 talk. Oh, we got an incident in Sector 2. Hang on. Is it high drama? I'm not seeing anything. It's probably somebody running wide.
Look at that! They've run wide!
Oh, it was Norris?
Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
Oh.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. That's...
Oh, come on. Barely. Co-Carnage recognises one of the one of the characters. He gets everywhere, that Co-Carnage fella, doesn't he? What other game was he in where he had a voice set? Was it Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous? I think it was. We were doing the stream, character creation stream, and he had one of the preset voices, didn't he? God bless him. I do like that. I haven't watched his stuff for a little while, actually. I go through ebbs and flows of watching YouTube stuff. I haven't watched anything on YouTube. This is going to sound really sad, because I very, very, very rarely do this. But I'm watching my own series of Metal Gear Solid 5. Because I think I mentioned this, because I got a comment from an old subscriber who's been away for a little while, and he's now catching up on what he's missed, and he's starting with Metal Gear Solid 5, so he's putting some comments on it, and I'm like, oh, I really love that game. I'll just watch a couple of videos to see why I loved it, and now I'm on video 13. I've never watched Metal series, very, very, very rare, but I'm not watching it I'm watching it for the game more than anything. But anyway, yes, 20k views on his streams. I mean, yes, that's a fair amount, isn't it? It's a fair amount. Can you imagine 20,000 people watching you live? Now, 20,000 people watching after the event at different times is fine, but 20,000 people across the world sat at the same time watching you.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
That is quite something.
Let's see what happened there. Watch this. There's Leclerc.
Oh, he's gone off quite
Going
severely.
like that.
But he managed to maintain his
Valuable
position.
time.
That's well played. It's basically a small... Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is indeed. Yeah, Leclerc manages to hang on to P9, but he's dropped out of the DRS of the car ahead. It shouldn't be a problem because he's probably faster than Ricciardo, to be honest, so that's pretty fine. Perez is back ahead of Verstappen here, and Sainz is in 5th, Russell in 6th, Alonso 7th, Ricciardo 8th, Leclerc is in 9th. We have entered the pit window. It seems a bit early. We ain't putting it. Well, maybe it's not a bit early actually. Quite surprised that the soft-tired runners still haven't come in yet. Then, because as you can clearly see, as we look like we've got Hamilton and Norris battling again here side by side as positions switch once again. Yeah, the soft-tired runners will be coming in about a lap or two, I think. We can hang it out for another 3, 4, maybe even 5 laps. Yeah, we're gonna play this very conservative, very easy. Take our time. and watch our cars crash into each other at some point during this race, scream at 10 o'clock at night, wake the neighbours, panic my mother, and watch the rest of this race from the perspective of a Red Bull. Maybe. Here's something I've wondered for a while. Would you want a larger audience, or are you satisfied with a smaller, more personal version? If I wanted a larger audience, there are probably things that I could do to generate a larger audience. I may have to change my style a little bit, change the style of the videos a little bit, but I reckon if I really wanted to, I could.
Was that a lock-up on the
And
track?
what I mean by that is I'm a very determined person. I don't know if you've realised this, but I'm quite a determined individual when it comes to certain things. If I set myself a goal or a target, or I want something really badly, generally speaking, I will do all in my power to get that and achieve that. I'm very belligerent like that. So if I wanted that, I would do whatever it took to get it. Whether it's support from people that have done it, getting advice, tips, hints when it comes to thumbnails, intros to your videos, and all the little tips and tricks of the trade. It's doable. So I think that should be your answer, really. I'm quite happy with my little small community of people that I recognise and see regularly. It's like a nice little group of friends, whereas with 20,000 people, as good as it may be, I mean, you might still have the same regular viewers that you see, but it's a lot more difficult to keep track of like that, isn't it? And let alone the chat. Can you imagine the speed of the chat? Oh my God, I struggle to keep up at times when there's 20 viewers, all babbling away. Off the odd 40 or 50, I get an anniversary stream. The amount of chat that I miss. So yes, quite happy. And it's my own doing it as well. As I've gotten older, the amount of videos that go up and things have reduced, and I think it's an age thing. Other things take my allure sometimes nowadays, and my propensity to want to sit down and play games inside the house when there's things to be doing outside of the house is much less than it was when I was younger. Nonetheless, I still do enjoy. We'd have to do those awful thumbnails with close-up expressions of surprise. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. There'd have to be analysis and all kinds of things, diving into the metrics and the analytics, and treating it like a serious thing, which clearly I don't. I cock up the technicalities of the streams. I don't have regular stream times. I make a fool of myself occasionally. I make a fool of myself quite often, actually. To be more accurate, to be fair. But yes, I think there's a little bit of luck involved at times as well. A bit of luck sometimes. With, something getting pushed. And hello, Artsy Wolf, good evening to you. And that is your opening gambit, is it? To insult me? Okay, so we have had some pits. So the medium-tyred runners will be the ones left at the front of the grid. Max Verstappen is the lead soft-tyred runner who is on the medium tyre. Now, if he's stuck in traffic, that's going to be quite bad for him because he's going to be slowed down, which is going to make his kind of undercut situation not that grand. So, the likes of Perez, Sainz, even Leclerc right now could actually overtake Verstappen if they pit in the next sort of 4 or 5 laps, and Verstappen is stuck behind them. So it'll be interesting to see where Perez comes out in relative to Verstappen, because they were literally nose to tail when Verstappen came in. Right, Hamilton, we're going to we've got a nice little gap, probably come out round about here to put our cars into if we wanted to. We don't want to put them into a gap at the moment. We want to make sure that everybody else is pitted first, and then we're going to maintain our position rather than putting our cars into direct conflict with others when we don't need to. So we're going to extend our stint quite happily. Although pitting our drivers now will separate them and probably give me a bit of breathing room. Allow me to stream Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines on a day you can watch. want you to play that game as a Halloween special, because I refuse to leave this world without you having played. Vampire the Masquerade, good ones. Sure, I'll add it to my list. At some point this year, I do have a list on Google, but it's not really like in any order. I tried to order it a little bit, and there's loads of games on there. I'm thinking of doing a proper list. Just one list, defined. This is the next
Ocon has also pitted.
15 games that I want to play. I might do that this weekend, in addition to upskilling for Three Kingdoms and doing something else. What did I say I was going to do this weekend? Can't remember. I'm upskilling on Three Kingdoms, but I didn't mention that before. We were talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, that was it, yes. I'm going to create my character in my head. I'm going to have to either load up the early access to see this, which I kind of don't want to do. I want to kind of have my live reaction to the game, including the menu music and everything of the full release, be like, you know, live reaction. Like, oh, my first reaction is what you get, rather than me. Oh, I've done character creation. I've heard the character creation music for hours because I sat there and played around. But if I don't do that, I can't see myself creating a character on a live stream, for example, in less than an hour. And that can't be good viewing, surely. Unless we badge it as a character creation stream. And forewarn people in advance. Because, like you, Shelley, your earlier comment, I too am quite excited. Now, in my video update I mentioned this, and it's true in that, you know, I don't get excited very much about games anymore. A, because I'm a bit older, I'm not a kid, even a teenager. When games come out when you were younger, it was like, oh, you'd scream with excitement. So you don't quite have that as much anymore. But there are certain little games that tickle your fancy, and then as you read more, and as you see a few little snippets and stuff, and from what I've been seeing and the little slight snippets that I've been hearing, and there only have been snippets, but the signs are very, very positive. Very positive. And, you know, the Baldur's Gate realm, Faerun, the Forgotten Realms is, if not my favourite, one of the very top favourites of my kind of genres. My settings for my RPGs, absolutely love it. It's the world, the universe that I know most about. So that'll be cool, especially and the game itself sounds like there's been a lot of love poured into it. You know, they've made very good use of the early access and the feedback from the people that have been doing and playing it. I did have to watch the entire 3 minutes of the Baldur's Gate 3 video of them talking about the actual city, the richness of it, the depth of it. That was the one that actually got me going, I tell you. It looked like you could just lose hours shopping for food. It just looked insane. Your character doesn't have a voice. You see, I don't know these little things. But that is a good thing. That is a good thing because I might voice act my character. I might, I'm not the strongest of voice actors or by any stretch of imagination, but, I do give my characters a voice on occasion, but I might go complete whole hog here. Who knows? And because the other characters talk, and I don't have to voice and read a lot of text, I don't think. Is it like there's a narrator? I don't know. I said I don't watch any videos, but like Divinity, everything's narrated or spoken apart from your character. If that's the case, that's perfect, because I only have to voice my bits, so I don't have to do 15 different voices, or try to do a distinction between maybe 4 or 5. The generic old person voice, the generic female voice. so I can just focus on one voice, perfect one voice for this one character. That would be quite cool. I'm quite tempted to try just to be a dwarf, so I could just try my best Scottish accent. Right, what's this then? Oh God, sorry. If you're watching this video after this stream, thinking, you know, I like to tune into these just to chill out and watch. I'm talking about Baldur's Gate 3 today. I'm sorry. It's coming out next week. Sad not to. This is what happens when we do these impromptus. If I was doing this off-camera stream, I'd be talking about the race. Who's not pitted yet? All of the top 6, including Albon and Leclerc, so he's actually coming around quite nicely. He's 2 seconds behind his teammate, so he's making up time. Sainz is still battling with Perez, still looking at where Verstappen will feed out into this mix. All the cars ahead. Ocon has stopped as well, so Ocon has leapfrogged Verstappen, but Ocon was behind Verstappen by quite a few car lengths, so something's happening. Ricciardo and Russell have leapfrogged him. How's he ended up 11th? Did he get a penalty? He's lost out to cars that were behind him by... Well, actually, not by much. They were behind him in the train, so maybe they undercut him. He's actually lost out quite significantly there, more than I actually realised. Not that I'm concerned. But the medium-tide runners are going quite long here. Going quite long. And whilst they're going long, that means we're going long, because we are not pitting our car and putting them into traffic. No siree. We're going to now go to light on the tyres, because we can. Why the hell not? I don't think he's spun. I think it was the whole DRS train situation. I think he's lost out somehow due to the timing of his stop compared to the other soft-tyred runners. But anyway, so yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, looking really forward to it. Look, I'm glad you've confirmed there's no voice character. That's perfect. Love that. Love that to bits. Love it. Any other little snippets you want to tell me? Because as I said, I'm going into this completely blind, apart from maybe like 2 videos that I've seen, which are about 3 minutes long. And that's it. The early access playthrough that I watched for that was like a 20-minute video or something, half an hour. The very first one that came out, I watched like half of that before I thought, I'm turning this off, I don't want to see any more. Talking about the up and down of the combat, as well as the, you know, the depth and the different levels and all that excitement about the tactical combat and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I haven't thought in any detail about the character that I'm going to create. I think I'm kind of in the I've already made the decision really now, based on what people have been saying, that we're not going to be continuing with Go Down. We're going to have a new character, because it's going to make the most sense for the purposes of the story. We don't want to have the story not make sense, or have to shoehorn or do any kind of retcon kind of stuff. So we're gonna have a new character. I've not considered yet whether my character will be evil, neutral, chaotic, blah de blah de blah. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe an evil character, because it's Baldur's Gate, and I'll probably play a good character in Wrath of the Righteous. So at some point in my RPGs, I'm going to have to go back to being evil again. And when I say evil, I mean proper evil, not this kind of like half-heartedness, like a proper swine. I think so. I'm leaning towards that. Mood may change. So this weekend, I think we're going to start to have to flesh out a potential character. But because I don't know much about the story too much, and I don't know much about the characters and the game itself, it makes it a bit more difficult to create a character. Because sometimes to create a character, you need to know a little bit about what's going on, because you might want to feed your character's backstory into the plot a little bit, you know. So I'm kind of debating how much I want to see of the game or read of the game's little kind of in plot or whatever. It's all a challenge, isn't it, this? It's all a challenge. But I think this is really important, because the character that you create, especially in a game like this, which this game is going to be easily 200 hours plus. Easy. It's a long time. It's potentially going to be a very good RPG, very good game. And we're going to be stuck with this character throughout. So, we've got to get the character right. Got to get it right. I've got to be completely happy with the character. The premise, there will be. There's got to be a backstory. I want this to be like a really, really good. I think it is going to be naturally because the game's going to be good. But I want this to be a really, really fun, rich RPG, role-played series. I want me to role-play like I've never role-played before, which is a competent character. We're saving competence for Pathfinder, because I played that recently. I know it's a new game with a few twists and tweaks. It's still very much similar, so I can maybe feign competence in that, whereas this is a completely new game, so competence is not going to be a thing. We could create a character that's, very young and fresh-faced, and naive and stupid, and as we develop through the game they pick up competence, as we pick up competence naturally. Could be on the cards. Right, we're on lap 30 out of 53, and Hamilton and Norris continue to battle away. The rest of the medium tide runners are still not coming in. And we're going to be the last ones in. We shall be the last people standing here. But our tyres... Oh! Hamilton's locked up and gone off!
Look at the replay. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this.
I don't think he's going to lose second position. I think it's fine. But he's lost out to Norris and he's no longer in the DRS. Yep, he's back on the track. I think that's a sign that his tyres are knackered. He's not that far behind.
Yellow flags ahead.
Lost a couple of seconds. Now because Norris... has... I think we could go into soft tyres and make it to the end of the race, 32 laps. This is probably unnecessary at this point. I reckon if the other medium tide runners are going so long, it's because they're planning to put the soft tyres on. Now we'll play it safe. We don't have to be stupid. We'll just put the hards on and push them.
And we're boxed now, stopping in front of the...
So Norris gets the preferential strategy because he is now the car ahead, and given that they have now separated themselves, we're going to pit them. We're not going to hang it out anymore. The tyres are going off, and clearly it's affected Hamilton a little bit there. So we're going to come in and swap our cars over, put them back to standard.
Just push.
Yep. That could have handed Norris the win on a silver platter. Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 3 and a new Witcher came out in the same day. What would you play first? Oof, that's a nasty question. That is a nasty, nasty question. Look at this. This is concertinaed up. Leclerc has finally caught up to this battle. Here comes Norris. First of the leaders to come in for his first stop, his second set of tyres, putting on the set of hards. I reckon, should we put Hamilton on the softs? See how it compares. Should be close. Hamilton will be quicker at the start of the stop, but then his tyres will go off quicker, so the hards should then become the more preferential tyre towards the end of the race.
So box.
I reckon it'd favour the hard-tyred runner. I think, because the soft tyre, especially if they ended up in DRS range of each other, I think they... Jesus Christ. That's not great for Norris. Gives Hamilton a little bit of a chance.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it'd benefit the harder compound tyre, especially if they were in DRS, because the soft tyre compound runner would have to create a bit of a gap because of the drop-off, but probably couldn't create the gap that is required because the DRS would be keeping the hard tyre in range. So I think it'd benefit the hard tyre if they were
good job
in
so far.
DRS range. If they're out of DRS range, it'd be close. That's what I think.
McLaren gain a position.
I'm still thinking about that question as well. It's a tough question. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a bit of an unknown quantity. We haven't played it yet, have we? So that would be quite an easy decision to discount that, I think. Oh, but it's... Yeah, okay, that's... Yeah. Because although it... I know Witcher, RDR3 and Witcher, a new Witcher would be new games that we've not played before, kind of hypothetical, but you think they'd follow the same kind of pattern as the previous Witcher and
Science has pitted.
Red Dead Redemption 3. That's a nasty question. Okay, there we go. Let's hang on a second. Hamilton has come out behind Norris, as we should have expected. He has lost time, gained a bit of time. It looks like all the other cars are coming in now. Where does Verstappen come out in the wash? There you go. Leclerc's yet to come in. Perez was the car that was ahead of him, and Perez also has lost out to Russell. But we'll maybe get Russell a little bit later because he's got the better, softer, grippier tyre right now. So different, as much as it's been a bit of a procession, you know, we've got slightly different tyre strategies going on. It's not a bit of difference in this train, does it? Not a bit of blind difference. Anyway, Leclerc. Yeah, Norris is in the driving seat. Hamilton's mistake has put him on the back foot, and as we saw, Norris isn't a slouch on this track. He got the same qualifying time as Hamilton. He's got the better setup than Hamilton in terms of confidence. Norris is at 100%, and Hamilton was at 93, I think.
Leclerc has pitted.
So yeah, this is going to be tough for Hamilton to get this back now. I mean, his championship lead is so immense, it doesn't really matter too much, but Norris has won, out of the past 6 races, I think Norris has won more. He got 3 on the spin, I think, at one point. So he's really the man in form right now. I think I'd have to say, having thought about it whilst commentating, I'd probably say a new Witcher game. I'd say that. Probably. It'd be so... Oh, it's so tough, though. So tough. That was a very tough question. Thank you, Nagisa. At 10:30 at night after a very stressful day at work. I've got another stressful day at work tomorrow. Now I'm here to relax and you pose questions like that. Good Lord. Yeah, work is really busy this week. Oh. I started at 7, I didn't finish until 10 to 4. Which probably is to a lot of people like, that's not a long day, what's wrong with you? It is for me. If I start at 7, I'm finishing at 3 usually. 3:15 at the latest. Not at 10 to 4. I think what makes it worse is when you're on the phone all day as well. So I wasn't on the phone, but meetings and you know, one-to-ones with your staff, so you're constantly talking. Draining, very draining. And then in between your downtime, when you think, right, I've had a meeting or I've had a one-to-one with somebody for an hour, talk, you know, for a lot of that, and you know, make a few notes or whatever for the records. You think, right, maybe go for a coffee, maybe a spot of lunch, bit of downtime. You know, decompress a little bit and get ready for your next meeting. Oh no. Because I've got lots of admin still to catch up on from my holiday absence. But now, this is my 3rd week back from my holiday and I still haven't caught up. Because last week, I was in Portsmouth for 3 days, so that wiped out most of that week to catch up on. So I'm still catching up, so I'm in between all of that chitty-chatty, meaty, in my half an hour downtime, rather than having a breather, having a break, getting something to eat, whatever. I'm doing admin to catch up. I had my lunch, having started at 7, at 2 o'clock. It's just not very good, is it? Not very healthy. Had my breakfast, having started at 7, at 9. I was busy first thing. I tell you. But hey, it's ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not so busy. I think after this week, once I've caught up and got all of the meetings out of the way this week they've got planned, I think next week will be a quieter week. So I will reap the rewards of working like a Trojan this week to have a little bit more time on my hands next week. What's the plan? What's the plan? Hamilton is not catching. It's staying a constant 2.4-ish seconds is this gap. Look at this little train. Stepping down in P7. Must be mortified. It was in P3 at one stage. Oh, the podium. The podium. Where's the podium gone? Your podium has gone up in smoke, pal. Your teammate Perez is outperforming you here today. Leclerc is 0.1 seconds from a podium in the hometown Ferrari. They're going to be screaming him to get past that Red Bull here. Look at this. Look at this. Jockeying for position. Fastest lap for Norris. He's putting that marker down, isn't he? No mercy. No mercy, folks. Norris is going for it. We're going to give both of our drivers a bit of attack here for a lap or two so that they can both have a good old push for fastest lap. Why not? Because I have got the
100%
sponsor deal for fastest lap on, so we might as well push for it. If there's a safety car or anything at this point, it'd be quite interesting. Do we come in for softs? We don't have a big enough gap, really. I don't think we're that far away from having a big enough gap. I think another 5 seconds would be enough, because if you pit under a safety car, obviously the other cars have to slow down. You lose less time. So I think it'd be quite close, actually. I think it'd be quite close. So we've got 15 laps, 16 laps to go. Watching Norris drive off into the distance. I think there's something quite calming about watching F1 cars drive around the circuit. I don't know about any of you guys, but I find it quite relaxing. Sound of the engines. I just think the cars look really, not in the game, but in real life as well. I think the cars just look so good, you know, going around the track, stuck to the road, engineering at its finest. And the cars, I think the cars look really good. I do like this rendition of the F1 cars, but they are so heavy now and wide compared to how they used to be. They're a bit bigger than they used to be, but nonetheless, I mean, they're still pretty quick. Forza's coming out in October. I saw that on a list somewhere of games coming out this year because I was looking. Oh, look at this! A bit of excitement here as hometown Team Ferrari are up into the podium as Charles Leclerc puts the manners on Perez. Advantage Ferrari, but for how long as Perez has the DRS open? Looking for instant revenge. Leclerc shuts the door in his face. Well done, but will he leave the inside open to attack? He does. He leaves the door wide open. No DRS down this straight though, and it looks like Leclerc is making the move stick for now, but now he has to defend against Perez on the pit straight against that DRS. We're pushing for fastest lap. It was a 124 point summit last time, a 123.5 just from turning up the pushing of the tyres and releasing the list and coast. That gained us about half a second. It's pretty significant. Right, so there we go. As we said, it was going to be difficult for Leclerc to hold off the Red Bull there, and the Red Bull having the inside line into this next corner is going to be curtains for Leclerc. He's going to have to back off at this point, you feel, unless he's going to try to keep it up the inside into the chicane. He does. He does. Be on the outside now, though. It's looking like Perez has got the advantage here, but Leclerc, hopefully being spurred on by the local fans, is not letting it go into the first Lesmo, but he does. He has to yield. Is that a tactical yield? Tactical yield, so that he can get this nice blasted DRS in a better position up here. Maybe. Up the inside. Probably won't make it work. It's too far back there, you'll notice. Saving himself for the pit straight. We'll ride on board and see what happens as we go around. Yeah, Forza, out in October. And it's my favourite Forza. It's not this Forza Horizon nonsense. Each to their own and all that, but for me, nah, not my cup of tea. I'm a proper hardcore kind of traditional racing guy. Love my circuits, my tracks, circuit racing. None of this racing on streets and dirts and all that kind of nonsense. It's back ahead again. Let's ride off board and just keep an eye on this one. It's more interesting than our battle at the moment. Hamilton has closed the gap to 2.3, but that's not going to be enough to get him race victory. He's going to have to put his foot down at some point. So really looking forward to that, because I say this, and I got Gran Turismo, didn't I? In all excitement, bought PS5 to get to play it, and I played it for less than a month, and it's been sat in my hiding place where I hide all my valuables when I go on holiday. It's been sat there since last June. Over a year it's been sat in a hiding hole. It's probably covered in dust. I've not got it out. And I bought that computer to play for Gran Turismo, and I played it for less than a month. How about you play Final Fantasy on it? PS5 exclusive. Make use of it. How about that? You quite fancy it, don't you? You like Final Fantasy? Yeah, I do. Why do you play it then? Nah, I don't think so. It's all the games to play. On camera, off camera, through the camera. I don't know. Working as a F1 pit stop team. You mean part of the pit crew? Yeah, probably. Can you imagine? One mistake from you could ruin the driver's race. One mistake from you. If you're the guy on the gun, or the guy that's taking the tyre off, one little slip on the tyre, you take 2 seconds to take it off. Which you think, 2 seconds? That's not a long time. 1, 2. There you go. What's long about that? In F1 terms, 2 seconds is a significant time. So you just not quite taking the tyre off quick enough, yeah. Big pressure. Big pressure. So Leclerc gonna have to fight that Red Bull tooth and nail between now and the end of the race. And do we want to see Leclerc on the podium? For those Italian fans, yes we do actually. We don't like Red Bull. Not in the slightest. Red Bull are the most awful team in F1. Awful, I tell you. God awful. No, man. I don't like them. They might be lovely people. I wouldn't mind a job in F1. Maybe not in the pit crew. It's a bit pressured, isn't it? The Jackman. I mean, every member of the pit crew has got an important job, to be fair. No job is less important, I suppose. But again, the Jackman is a bit of a stumble trying to get the car on the jacks. They can't start putting the tyres on because the car's not going up properly. And he can get yourself in right a bit of a tiz. Gone are the days of having the fuel man, which was fuel men because you're going to use more than one because the hose was really heavy. No more refueling, of course, for safety reasons. But I mentioned it before at the start of the series somewhere, but I do miss having a fuel strategy as well as a tyre strategy, because you'd have some drivers going long and therefore having heavier fuel loads, some cars having lighter fuel loads. Sometimes you didn't know what fuel load they had, so it was a bit of a guessing game, you know. It added an extra element of strategy to the mix. having cars with different levels of fuel. But then they stopped it for safety. Because a lot of cars caught fire during the pit stop. Can you imagine? I think I seem to recall one time it was a Ferrari. Was it a Ferrari? Or am I thinking of the Ferrari incident where Michael Schumacher drove into his jackman and the jackman flew in the air and fell onto the car? Or another Ferrari pit stop where they forgot to bring a tyre out for Eddie Irvine. I'm a Hakkinen fan, so I was jumping for joy because I think Irvine might have been leading the race at the time or pushing for the lead. And they ran out with 3 tyres and forgot the 4th tyre. And if you haven't seen the commentary of Martin Brundle, just put it in YouTube. You know, Ferrari 3 tyres stop Eddie Irvine or something like that, and watch it and listen to Martin Brundle. His commentary was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Stick it on and send him out! What are you doing? I might have to watch it after this race now just to make myself laugh. But anyway, Hamilton has closed the gap down to 2 seconds. If he can close by another second, he gets into DRS range, which means that we are going to run out of fuel with both of our cars very shortly, because I forgot to turn the fuel down and nobody told me. Nobody said, by the way, you've got less than 9 laps to go and you have now exceeded your fuel allowance, which means your cars might not finish the race.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to mention that to me. You all just thought it'd be a laugh, didn't you? Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Yes, they removed refueling. They did. They did. They had 2 tyre compounds at one point. 2 tyre manufacturers. They had Goodyear and Bridgestone. So you had 2 different tyre manufacturers. So there was a tyre battle. So when, at some points, take the 98 season, you had cars that were on different fuel strategies and cars that had different tyres. I think Ferrari had Goodyears, McLaren had Bridgestones. The Bridgestone tyre was deemed to be the better tyre, so the Goodyear runners were a bit worse off. So that obviously they had, you know, it was a tyre war as well. Tyre war, refueling. It just added so many different layers to the proceedings, really. Did it make for any better racing? I suppose it's debatable. There's always a sense of nostalgia about the old days, isn't there? But was the racing really any better than now? I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Michelin at some point came in. Yes, you're right there, Shirley. Very good. They came in, yes. Sort of maybe early, mid-2000s. I can't remember if they came in as part of like a tyre war, as in like Michelin and Bridgestone, or whether they came in and had the full monopoly like Pirelli do at the moment. Can't remember. I think they came in during the times when they were 2. Could have done. But Hamilton is closing that gap. Hamilton is indeed closing that gap. Is it going to make for an exciting finale between the two Red Bulls?
Think about left lifting coast.
Make myself sick. Calling my cars Red Bulls. Oh, it's almost like, you know, a bit of reflux. Yes. Those halcyon days of F1. That's when I started watching F1 properly, like really properly, was 1998. It was Bridgestone versus Michelin. Okay. Cool. I thought it might have been. So yes, 1998. I checked it. I used to watch F1 when I was much younger with my dad in the 80s, the days of Prost, Senna and Mansell. I remember getting up at 6 in the morning a couple of times to watch the recorded Video Plus. Who remembers Video Plus? When my dad used to Video Plus the races abroad, because they were obviously on at strange times. I remember getting up one day and watching the VHS cassette Video Plus race. I can't remember what race it was, but I just remember doing it and seeing the red and white McLaren of Prost and Senna battling against Mansell. For the life of me, I can see it. I can picture it. I can see it. I remember it, but I can't remember what track it was. I'm being really excited because I used to love Mansell. So I was a big Mansell fan as a child. Who wouldn't be? The English guy with the big moustache. He looked like a cartoon character. Good old Nige. His autobiography is a very good read as well, actually. Nigel Mansell's autobiography, an inside view into how Formula One was in the 1980s compared to how it is now, makes for some interesting viewing. Formula One was a very, very dangerous and physical sport in the 1980s. Very, very dangerous. You wouldn't get 18-year-olds, as he put in his book. You would not get 18-year-olds fresh out of school, fresh out of Pampers, driving an F1 car in the 80s. They were hellaciously difficult cars to drive. No power steering, manual gear shifting, with all the G-force and everything. There was, and again, in the 80s, there was none of this. Everyone's super fit, None of that kind of stuff, let's train our necks so that we can take the G-force kind of stuff. None of that. Oh, of course they will. He was like a god, an idol to the Brazilians, yeah. And the Brazilians love, because Ayrton Senna was a big idol for Lewis Hamilton, and Lewis Hamilton has got a couple of Senna's helmets given to him from qualifying from Senna's family. There's a big kind of connection there, and obviously he wears yellow helmets on his worn Ayrton Senna kind of tribute helmets as well. The Brazilians love Lewis Hamilton too. He was made a citizen, wasn't he? Honorary citizen of Brazil as well. So yeah, big love for Hamilton in Brazil, which I always like to see. It's good to see. It's like his second home race, he called it now, pretty much. Yeah, that was a very tragic death. Let's not go down the mournful, sad route, but it was very tragic. And if you actually look into it in any great detail, it was quite spooky, but also it was a chain of events. I mean, these things happen, don't they? But it was the chain of events was quite uncanny, really, as to how it all happened, and the whole weekend of that weekend was just full of tragedies. Barrichello flying off and smashing into the fence, catch fence, and going straight to hospital. God, it was a hellacious weekend.
5 laps to go.
And I didn't watch it. Anyway, whilst we've been talking about doom and gloom, Hamilton has caught up to Norris. He's got within the DRS, and we've got a race on our hands for the next 4 laps to determine which one of these two drivers is going to win this race. That's if they don't take each other out. And that's also going to be a bit of high drama here, because is Leclerc going to get on the podium, or in a Ferrari? Perez has dropped to 3rd. He's gone behind Russell here. How this is happening, I do not know. But look at this. The two McLarens with less than 5 laps to go are side by side at the Lesmos. Hamilton is back in the lead here. After going off into the gravel, losing a couple of seconds, he's managed to catch up to Norris, indicating that he is the faster driver in clean air. But we're not in clean air now. We are at the silly season. The silly season of DRS strikes again here. And we're going to see what happens as they're coming up to a back marker. Could this back marker have an impact? Can this back marker have an impact on the outcome of this race? Will it interfere? If it was Latifi, maybe so. Hello, Felix. Good evening to you.
4 laps.
All is good here, despite the fact that I'm really not looking forward to my day at work tomorrow. It's bad as that, isn't it? It's very rare that it happens to me, but there are certain times, certain days when I think to myself as I'm sat here at like 10 to 11 at night and think to myself, I'm not looking forward to going to work tomorrow. I know what's coming. I know it's going to be a long day. I know I've got a lot of work to do and meetings and whatever else. I could really just lie in bed and not go in. That's bad, isn't it? Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy my job. I do. But there are certain days and certain tasks. It's the same in any job, isn't it? You can't have a job that you like 100% of the time. There's always a little element of a job, no matter what it is, that you just think, oh, I could do without that. But anyway, I'm sure when I get up again in the office, get my morning coffee, have my porridge, all will be well. Mini vacation. Visiting family in Ohio this past week. It was fun, but most of the people are a good deal older than me. Define good deal older. How old is that? Would I qualify as a good deal older? I like to think I'm a young man in a middle-aged man's body. We've got a virtual safety car and multiple cars crashed on the lap before the penultimate lap.
Sounds like a few cars have crashed. Let's take a
Mid-80s,
closer
okay,
look.
that's a bit older.
Now we see the Williams here.
What's the Williams done? Oh, he's gone off the track and he's caught. Oh, look at that! We've got a roadblock. We've got a roadblock type situation. Look at that! This is what a calamity. We've got cars with wings knocked off, all caused by, it looks like, Mick Schumacher. I kid you not. Twitter, at the moment, is a bit of a... I was going to use a swear word there. The old proverbial show. I don't know why I don't swear. I mean, it's not as if we've got kids in the house, is it really? We're all of an age nowadays, but I don't like to swear necessarily. But basically, yeah, it's rebranded it with the X. And I'm sure there's a lawsuit going on. Didn't I read that Microsoft had patented the X symbol or whatever? I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know. That's what I read, I'm sure. X marks the spot and all that. Whether he's going to rename it from Twitter to something else, all that kind of jazz. But anyway, the point I'm making is, it's still called Twitter, I think, for the moment. I do go on it every day now. Not like
We've got 2 laps remaining.
but I'll just swipe through the Leeds United news. Any signings yet? No. Formula 1 news. Mercedes getting any better yet? No. So that's as much as I swipe, really. Let's end the race looking at our drive and see who wins.
So
But
ending.
I've noticed, especially recently,
DRS has been enabled.
that there's a lot more advertisements and targeted tweets on your feed. So on your feed normally, or previously, you get the odd 1 or 2 occasionally, but most of the feed was what you've signed up to see. For me, computer game stuff, football, Leeds United stuff, and Formula 1 stuff. I'm a man of simple pleasures. Games, Formula 1, football, that's it. So I'm only subscribed to like 20 different Twitter pages. On my, you can see who I'm subscribed to because I don't have a personal Twitter account. My Twitter account that I use to browse is my Damo286 Twitter account for the channel. That's why I'm separately. I don't need people to contact me personally on Twitter. It's not about. But anyway, the point I'm making, I've lost the train of thought now, I think. It was to do with targeted advertising. Oh, that was it, yes. Targeted advertising. We will commentate on the last lap, don't worry. As Hamilton leads it. Really exciting times. Norris has... This is bad time to lead, actually, because this is the final lap. So if Norris passes right now, it's going to be difficult for Hamilton to pass Norris before the start-finish line. So Hamilton has to make this work. He has to make this stick. He has to stay ahead of Lando Norris. Can he do it? We've got back markers coming up as well. Will they interfere on this final lap? Charles Leclerc is just about hanging it out with the Ferrari. Is he going to finish on that podium? He's got George Russell in the Mercedes and Perez all over the back of him. And, oh, it's looking close. Is he going to lose it on the last lap? Oh, the fans have been going bonkers. They look like they just did the gawping, but they're going bonkers, surely. They're going wild. They're cheering on Charles Leclerc. No, don't let Russell... A Mercedes? Don't forget a Mercedes won this race last season. Hamilton won this race last season in the game. I seem to remember. So the Mercedes go well here. It seems. Oh, Norris has passed Hamilton. Oh, he's going to be past him into the Ascari chicane. Oh, this is tragedy for Hamilton. Tragedy there as Norris has passed him. And he's going away. He's going away. And it looks like Norris has just stolen his sweets whilst he was napping. Norris is going to win again. Look at that. He's mugged him off on the final lap.
That is the checkered flag.
Leclerc, it looks like he's just about to fend off the Mercedes of Russell. He's going to do it. Ferrari driver will be on the podium.
Thank you so much for continuing to push this year. I'm so inspired by you guys.
Pipped him at the post.
Nice work, Lewis.
I don't think Hamilton will be quite so chirpy in real life if that happened, would you? Thanks guys, keep pushing. Yeah, thank you very much. You just got past the last lap. He'd be grumpy as hell, and even I'd admit it. He'd be grumpy as sin. Losing to your teammate is not good. Save machinery and all that, it's very competitive. But nah. He's taking that far too well, yeah. It's quite interesting, actually. As well, I'll let the game wind down naturally because I've got a couple of things to say before we sign off for the evening. But yeah, first of all, kind of weird because Hamilton is not in contention for the championships at the moment. Will he ever be again? The Mercedes is never guaranteed to be a top car again. I'm hoping he gets at least one more season to have a chance. But because he's not in contention and other drivers are getting up there, like Norris and some of the other drivers, he just seems so much more chilled out and relaxed. He's always smiling. I know he still complains a little bit about the car being poor. But it is, by comparative to the previous seasons. And I think he's a bit frustrated at times because he's tried to steer the team to develop in a certain way and they've ignored him, and then when they've done it a season later it's proven to be the right decision. It's like, well, I told you this last season, you didn't listen. But it just seems so much more relaxed and at ease, and when you're not kind of got the pressure of a champion battle for a championship with a driver that's an absolute little you're kind of a bit more chilled out in life. I thought, it's good to see him smiling. Not good to see him not on the podium and stuff or winning, but I quite like to see him smiling and happy. And he just seems a bit happy now that he's kind of, I'll take the occasional podium. It's good to see,
What a beautiful sight that is.
Red Bulls are too fast, so we're never going to win a race. But hey, I'm happy with second. Why not? That does not look anything like Norris. And this is where Norris breaks the trophy, breaks the $40,000, Hungarian porcelain trophy.
Today, it's no surprise
Who saw
to see
that?
this man land on the podium.
The thing is, he did it in Silverstone, the exact same thing. Banged the podium with the champagne bottle, and it took the trophy off the step in Silverstone. Now, the trophy in Silverstone was made of metal, so it didn't break. But he'd done it once before, and he did it again and smashed the damn thing. He did that on purpose, surely. Anyway, he's a character. But, yeah, the other thing I was going to say about Twitter, as I finish my session here, was targeted tweets. And I've seen a massive increase in targeted tweets, it seems. I don't know if you're noticing it, if you use Twitter at all. But, yeah, there's loads of adverts, and even, like, if you go into the comments of a tweet to see what people are saying about whatever it is the tweet's about. Usually it's, people's comments are just usually a load of rubbish, but I like to see people's comments because some people are quite witty. And even like, about 5 comments and then an advert or a promoted tweet stuck in the middle of it that makes no sense to what you're reading. Read a bit more. And I swear to God, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we're talking about age. And there was a tweet, and I can't remember the name of the site. I think it's No Context Brits. Now, I've not signed up to that site. I just get bombarded with their tweets. No Context Brits. And one of the tweets was, primary school kids or 8-year-old kids or something comment on what they think it's going to be like to be 40. And one of them, little scribble, and sometimes you wonder how real these are, but it says, at 40, I'm going to be old and whatever, grey, and I'm not going to be able to walk without sticks, and all that. It's like, I mean, I know they're 8. You think 40 is like 80? It made me chuckle as a man that's just turned 40. Like, yeah, I'm not walking with sticks just yet. In fact, I'm still running quite quickly, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. You know, still got my own teeth. Just about. Well, I may have one crown at the moment. Which actually, funny enough, is not. I don't know if they've put it in not quite right, but the gum has started to grow slightly outside through the gap of the teeth where the crown is. So there's a bit of gum protruding through, which I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's quite right. Surely the gum shouldn't be poking through the gap between the two, with the crown and the real tooth. I'm not an expert, but it's none of that happens with my real teeth. Anyway, here's the final standings. Norris wins, pipped Hamilton at the post. Hamilton finishes second, but gets the fastest lap, so gets an extra point there to help offset that differential. Charles Leclerc, a sterling effort, and if we were taking a driver of the day vote, probably he would get it, because he has made up 10 places in Monza in a Ferrari to get the last podium place. An inspired drive, you might argue. Russell in the Mercedes, finishing fourth. Mercedes running well here again. Perez fifth. Daniel Ricciardo sixth. Max Verstappen down in P8. Bad day in the office and didn't appear to have any incidents, unless we missed it. Who knows? Drivers' Championship then. Lando Norris closes that gap, but it still remains at a healthy 51 points. Just over 2 race victories. It has been bigger than that. It was closer to 70. So he's definitely ran off a string of wins. Constructors, it's the Ferrari versus Red Bull battle that we're most interested in, and that is looking mighty, mighty close right now. That's not. Right, development point for Lando, I suspect. I did say. There we go. Right, it's 11 o'clock, folks. So thank you for joining me this evening for a impromptu stream of Monza, where we commentated a bit on the race, but had random chit-chat. How many races to go? Monza. 1, 2, 3. I reckon we're going to be having to race until Mexico. I think we're racing until Mexico here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more races. 2 a week. So that's probably 2 weeks. And then we're done. And then we're playing Three Kingdoms. Total War. So, yes. Yep. Loads of people voted against the financial change. So there will be no financial change to the cost cap there. Very good. Wind tunnel refurbished. Right, go forth, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget, tomorrow I'll put it up before I go to bed. There will be a proper, full, scheduled stream of Plague Tale starting at 7. So hopefully I'll see you for that. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your afternoon. Hopefully see you tomorrow. And if not, enjoy the rest of your week. Until next time, folks. I'll see you soon.